We're back here on Football Frenzy Plus. Thanks so much for sticking with us here. Let's take you through Dixon and Rockford Lutheran. This was a game between two teams with winning records last season, but it didn't get off on the right note. Rockford Lutheran, though, going through a lot of changes with a new head coach, and they showed it early. Ball on the turf, recovered by Dixon on the opening kickoff of the game, and then it's Landon Carnegie. He takes it on the first play of scrimmage into the end zone, 7-0. Dixon looking like the team, and that's Don Lee right there, the new head coach, trying to keep his guys positive through all of this. They do get off a decent punt here, so working on that special team stuff that we were talking about a little bit earlier, Anthony. But the problem is that when Landon Carnegie is back there to return it, it's going to the house, and it certainly did here. They missed the extra point, 13-0, and the Dixon coaching staff has to be happy with that. Another running back taking the carry. It's Logan Mershon this time on the end around for the rushing touchdown. It makes it 19-0 at that point. Dixon prevails 47-8.
And definitely something to keep in mind for teams like Byron if they do meet and there's a conference title on the line. We got Marengo and Stillman Valley here. We got 7 minutes left, second quarter. Marengo's up 21-zip. We got the player losing 3 yards, and then Maverick Shines is going to fumble the ball. He's going to pick it up, but he is sacked by a flock of Cardinals. Now we got around 1:30 left. San Venzello is going to find Maverick Shines, who's shining onto the field for a 60-yard touchdown. And Vendello is going to find Parker Mandelke here, and he is going to go. How far is he going to go? Well, all the way with a 60-yard touchdown pass, deking out defenders, breaking ankles, shattering dreams. Look at those moves. Marengo finishing the job. They win 42-7.
Let's go to the power in the Big Northern Conference, but don't exactly have it right now. Let's jump down to Dakota and Dupec. We did not show this game in our Football Frenzy show, but that's what you get on Football Frenzy Plus. In last year's game against Dakota, the Indians come on and win by 46, and it was a lot of the same story, a blowout for sure from start to finish in this one. Long touchdown to start off the game, and the marching band has to love that. Always good to see the fans back in town for Football Frenzy, but Dolan was back once again. Looks like the exact same play, but on this one, the ball is snapped to him, and no one is going to stop the 6'1" senior from going into the end zone. Dolan gets loose for yet another touchdown. Let's head into the second quarter, and Dupec just continuing to find their rhythm. Another long run, just running the ball, and this time it's Lucas Rosso's turn to head into the end zone. 28-0 is the score at this point, and the Indians, they just did not let up. Dupec wins it 56-16 over Dakota.
I was at their preview. They were definitely saying they want to prove a lot of their doubters wrong this season. Now we're going to North Boone and Winnebago. Bago looking for a comeback season. Early in the second half, Indians getting the ball down the field near the end zone. You can see here team was pushing to get it into the end zone. They do get it for the touchdown. Following this play, the team went for the extra 2, but they failed. They're now trail 2. But in the next play, Vikings respond. Ball kicked off here, quickly returned by North Boone's Colin McKibben, who runs it down the field for a touchdown. Another special team score. The score, though, quickly called back. Jinxed it after a flag was thrown during the play. Then a no-good touchdown. The Vikings back down to their own 14-yard line. Vikings offense playing aggressive, but so was the Bago defense, right where it was for a big fourth down for the Indians. They were unable to stop the Vikings from scoring a touchdown. The Indians put up a fight. The Vikings defeated Winnebago, though, 21-18.
And how about Brett Frederick in his coaching debut?
Look at
with
that.
The Vikings, with his old school, he comes out on top. And that is all we have for highlights right now, but a more heartwarming story, or a more simple story at that.
Definitely, yeah. Before we go, this was at halftime of the Harlem Belvedere football game. They are honoring the girls bowling team. The girls bowling team at Harlem been a powerhouse. They are always successful at state. They didn't place first at state this year, but at nationals, national champions. The PA announcer, that was their 6th national championship, and yet some of the coaches and bowlers from that roster I've gotten to cover in previous years. A very talented team of bowlers, and bowling definitely a lot of there's a lot of deep history here in Rockford. So really cool to see with that. But yeah, just coming back, kind of final thoughts of what we were able to see from these football teams in week one. Obviously, there were some blowouts, some close games. What were kind of your reactions?
I think there were some teams that definitely fell into a hole early and just didn't know really how to come out of it. We saw a lot of blowouts tonight. That's not going to be the case in every single week, I don't think. I think as we get later in the season, we're going to try to show more of those teams that are clashing head-to-head, winning records, playoffs on the line. And I think you're going to see a lot more close games because at the end of the day, there's just a lot more desperation for everybody out there on the field.
Definitely. And as we've seen with some of these games, it could be like week 5 or 6 or even 9, like with these one-loss conference teams. I mean, that one loss to your opponent could make the difference between winning conference and not. But obviously the magic number, trying to get to the amount of wins that they can to get in the playoffs, should be interesting down the stretch to see how things play out. A lot of enthusiasm we see from the students. I know they're going to keep that up where they are, whether it's 11-man football, 8-man football. So going to be really interesting. Looking forward to that. And we do have some games tomorrow as well, just the way kind of things have worked out with scheduling. So we're not even done with week one.
Certainly. There will be a game tomorrow, 12 o'clock, Auburn High School. They got to play their games at a different site this year. So that'll be a game to watch, and we'll try to get you those highlights at our 6 o'clock or 6:30 newscast tomorrow.
They were saying they had to move the games because there was a plane at Cottonwood Airport. It hit one of the light poles. I was actually there the day it happened. It was for an AAU track thing, and they hit the light poles a little crooked, so they weren't able to use that half of the stadium for it. So they just advanced everyone in the remaining events to nationals. But that's kind of the way they have to do it. But I mean, the big thing is like you want to keep your players, the fans, the staff. You got to keep them safe. But for now, that will do it. For Ryan Bridges, I'm Anthony Ferretti. We thank you so much for watching, and we tune in next week for Football Frenzy.
Have a good night.